Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill of Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering are the Browns doing the right thing. Before I get right into it, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. This offseason, we saw a team that not only made the playoffs last season, but had one of the best late season runs that we've seen in some time. Not only did they get down to their fourth or fifth starting quarterback, but they were essentially able to run the table to make the actual playoffs, which was impressive. And in the manner in which they did it, and the quarterback in which they did it was impressive. Seeing how Deshaun Watson went down early and they funneled through different quarterbacks all the way up until you got to literally Joe Flacco, the Cleveland Browns did what they needed to do and did what they had to do to make the playoffs. Now, this offseason, we've seen that they didn't have a lot of draft picks, but the trade for Jerry Jeudy, bringing him over at the wide receiver position, allowed this to open up the offense a little bit more. Now you have Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, David Njoku at tight end. You also have Nick Chubb coming back, Elijah Moore, and Cedric Tillman. So you have Coach Stefanski has a full plethora of weapons at his disposal. Not only can they be dangerous on the offense, but you got to think this defense does return players like Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. You have a pretty good cornerback field. You also have pretty good safeties. When you're looking at the Browns are looking to not only make the playoffs, but, to cash in on Deshaun Watson, they gave up so much, they need to start seeing a return on that investment. He's starting to throw every other day this offseason since having shoulder surgery, and they're looking for him to not only lift this team, but to also put this team into a situation where they're not just talking about being contenders, but they're actually in the title hunt. Seeing teams like Buffalo Bills, seeing teams like the Bengals, seeing teams like the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs have their success, whether it be from Super Bowl wins, playoff wins, or just simply making the playoffs, that's not enough. So with everything that they gave up to bring Deshaun Watson there, they have to cash in. They have to say that this is what we put down, this is what we actually did, and I would love to see the offense bloom and blossom. I would love to see where Deshaun Watson can actually step in who he was a couple of years ago in Houston and make those big throws, to stand in and be healthy and make sure that he's hitting the timing routes well and making sure he can throw the deep ball to the receivers. There's a number of things that we need to see from Deshaun Watson, or this may be his last year. So you got to keep in mind the offensive creativity is a good thing for Kevin Stefanski, head coach. I think that he's up there with the likes of Sean McVay. He's up there with the likes of Kyle Shanahan of dialing up great games, dialing up great plays. But you have to keep in mind your quarterback has to be there. Your quarterback has to be available and playing for you to have some of this success. So hopefully Nick Chubb is healed when he comes back from that gruesome knee injury, but you got to keep in mind you can't just lean on Nick Chubb. You need to make sure this full offense is supporting each other so there won't be any let-offs. There won't be any drop-offs. But what I do see is the AFC North has become stronger, from Cincinnati making their offseason moves to the Baltimore Ravens now having one of the best running backs, Derrick Henry, in the league. And you also think about the Steelers upgrades with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. There's a number of pieces that have moved around in the same conference and division as you. But you want to make sure that you're doing those things. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for not only Cleveland Browns to bounce back, but to make the playoffs. But I feel like they can do that. I feel like with that being said, I expect big things from them. When it's all said and done, Deshaun Watson has a lot to prove. Nick Chubb is coming back off the injury. He wants to be paid. So it's going to be a lot of prove-it deals going on. It's going to be a lot of situations where people are getting paid or in line to get paid. So now it's time for them to step up to the plate and play well. So Cleveland, one of those destinations. I believe they have a lot of talent. And overall, this team should be back in the same position it was from last year, making the playoffs, doing some great things with the starting quarterback. So, are you Cleveland Browns fans? Get in the comment section. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus on the YouTube platform. We'll see you in the very next video.